He's got to make it play on the side left, surely, so that it comes out with the number 20. He keeps running the air, moving it to where it is, playing on that side. Sohobri leaves it, for God's sake, again, advances number 2. For now, everything slow, marking territory, moving towards the enemy field, Ivory Coast. At number 20 is playing there. He's going to change it by positioning himself precisely for the player. There's the 19th. He's going to let him run from advance on the left side again. He has to retreat to associate now with the number 4, and he leaves it further behind. The Centrals dominate again. We are in the first minute of play, first minute 1, 30 seconds, 0-0. Gabon with Costa de Marfil, the exciting definition of Group F of the African Cup of Nations. Operi comes out playing for Costa de Marfil at number 13, goes back and plays with Diomande, who changes for Akbado. There is number 20. He makes him run on the left side through a strip. Olawi comes, the VIP line, tries to turn, has to retreat to associate with Sojobi. Sojobi, who plays with the captain again. We are talking about Kiev. Kiev, who changes on the side for Venga. Hello again. Kiev decides to retreat backwards with Sojoba. There he has it. He's going to play Bamdou by Sentim. He'll play on the right for the middle. You prefer the middle. With C, number 4, the entire Ivory Coast dominates. We're in the first 2 minutes of the first half. Ray Deportivo, Group F. Exciting definition of this African Cup of Nations. Costa Marfil Operi now has it. There's number 13, which started playing on the right, changed to the left, advances to that side now. Number 14, we're talking about Briaki, advances on the right wing, can throw the center, close, retreat, defeat company. Now, yes, the ball comes up for evasion scholarship that goes out to cut balls. Goes out playing for a Fiat that is predisposed to advance in enemy lines. He is playing for Endon. There they bring Endon, number 22. He comes from the left, but before he was cutting Siri. There is a side back, 2 minutes 30 for now, with Vertigo Marcelo, but with still that lack of logical depth, with the fear that no one will make a mistake.
That's right. We are in the famous study area beyond the Ivory Coast, being the team that has come out with the aim of being able to achieve that first goal that gives him peace of mind to finish as a leader in this group. We are also taking 3 minutes in the other match, Mozambique and Cameroon, equal to 0-0.
Fantastic. As these interruptions go, you, Marcelo, have total freedom. I'm going to give you time, of course, so that you can make that human calculator, right? Customized every 10 minutes if it seems good to you, or less, depending on what the match gives us as an attractive offer. We are going to learn about who Costa del Sol will make and who Oviedo will be, and we can get to know possible rivals, as we were saying, like Mali Tunis, like other rivals there, are already armed with knowing the rivals they will face. Senegal and many others are waiting. Ivory Coast comes out now, 4 minutes, 0-0, Marcel.
In the meeting where there are many interested parties, not only those who are Gabon fans of the Ivory Coast, because I insist part of the classification is starting to be played here, and also in the match between Mozambique and the Cameroon team. A match so far, I insist that it has Alicia Lenko as dominator, but she waits Khanda Jamal and Gaman, who unfortunately hasn't even been able to add a point, but reaches the last date with a chance of getting into third place.
He goes out playing from the back with the ball dominated. Costa del Marfil getting close to almost 5 or 6 minutes of the first half. He advances on the right side. He will come to the deep center so that he can clearly dominate there. Mozonda comes out playing fairly from the center back, who is playing for Gabon. Now he was changing it so that on that side, if number 1 comes, or we talk about the right sector, or that he cleaned up the middle so that Capital dominates now. He has it. He raises his head, asks for association. That's why Little is coming, and Little is changing his wall. And in Dawn, he's going to go with Oyono. The 21st is projected on the right wing. The progress of Gabon is good now. Oyono is coming. He's changing A for his partner. In this case, it's Ndong. Again, Ndong. For Oyono, the elevation center is coming. The ball that's left going around there. Be careful, because if he doesn't want to suffer the final Ayomende. But the referee, the main judge, Somali Omar Artan, is collecting that there was a push an infraction that he was committing on humanity since 20, second player done. There will be an exit to the Ivory Coast from the back in the first minutes. Gabon and the Ivory Coast group F 0-0.
Yes, it was the first approximation of Gabon's team that chose the right sector to attack in the face of a bad contest, right in a sensitive area of the playing field. Well, that's what the cast of Gabon bets on, who has not added up to here, and who, beyond the fact that for now he shows a fairly conservative stance, if he wants to get into the next instance, at some point he will have to move his lines forward.
Right away, we will review what happens with that next instance. There will be a free kick from the corner that will favor and actively when one of the forwards was pressuring from Costa de Marfil on the right wing. Costa de Marfil, the Elephants, those who wear white, will have the first opportunity to give the opening in the scoreboard. We'll see if Costa de Marfil can do it for almost 7 minutes. 0-0. Marcelo will be reviewing the numbers, the possible combinations, what is happening in Cameroon, Mozambique, but also how the keys are formed. If there is a defined match for next week, of course, we will also inform you here with time, goal, and so on. The corner kick will come from lifting. The center that came from the penalty spot. Attention, after now you have left to be killed. Yes, no, it was good. Now the ending, the culmination of that hack that tried to finish, because very close was Ndon to prevent him from finishing firmly clean. Number 10 of Ivory Coast dominated with his right leg, finished with his left leg, ended up bouncing off the humanity. That's why there's a new corner kick, but now the left sector is already doing it. Number 10 is putting it for his teammate, so that the combination with Siri comes back from the center of Sahara, the second post. He may be first. He ends up projecting very firmly in defense. The player tries to lead Gabon, but he can't. The ball ends up going off the wing when he tries to dominate Costa de Marfil. We are very close. Number 13 is a Fiat again to contribute. It will be a departure from the right side on the wing. Ivory Coast already does it. It has it. It is changing that left sector so that Agua Duque does not appear. And that Duque puts him for 13 in this one. That leaks it on the same wing so that he tries to find one of his teammates on the side. But there was an infraction that Omar Satan, the Somali, is collecting. He will have a dangerous free kick in his favor, almost entering the area from Mursfe's team. The coach of Costa de Morfigi, a good chance of Operi and the combination so that he would commit fouls. Today I don't. Free throw for Costa de Morfigi Barcelo, which seems that for now is starting to take the reins of the party.
Yes, it had the previous opportunity with a shot from outside the area that it couldn't precisely convert. And here, a great play by the left sector. They had to knock down footballer number 13. Well, he has the possibility through this free kick on the left sector to be able to open the scoreboard and find the same peace of mind from the result.
The free kick that came for Osperi's elevation ends up rejecting Fiat defender again, very active, number 13. We also accompanied him, the support, the ball is now being dominated by the number 23, the Ivory Coast goalkeeper, the one who defends that goal from the White Elephants. Diomande has it. He wanted to play it for Olawi. They wanted to make him run, but he couldn't. They decided to retreat with Diomande. Now comes a filtered pass at pure speed, pure power for the left side. It's projected the forward now from A to line number 10. Decide to move back and put him to play now. Number 19, Olawi, again, who ends up moving back a lot. Olawi protesting that the Somalin does not pay attention. Homo rather ignores Obiso, attacks with profile. Comes from the right wing. There may be danger. Cross coming to the area, but Bikale ends up dominating the 16th. The goalkeeper of Gabon. We are already passing the 10 minutes of this first half. Gabon's Ivory Coast 0-0. Immediately all the information about Marcelo Boxa with the keys, with the pairings, with the crossings that can happen, and with what is also happening in Mozambique, Cameroon. The team is now attacking Gabon's shot on goal. Attention, the first one may come. Comes, goal!
Excitement of the match, what? Avalanche right-hand draft, number 27, appropriated that play in attack, overflowed on the wing, finished when Solari entered the containment phase of the FOB in the goal of number 12, who makes a martial greeting to his stands. We talk about Kanga. It gives Gabon partial victory. Surprise Life gives you Mr. Boxia. Gabon won.
Realmente ha sido, it really has been a surprising situation. We had been pointing it out. Ivory Coast, the team that tries to manage the actions, well, here it regressed. That's what the Gabon coach has bet. Shot that couldn't contain the goalkeeper, and in the rebound, Kanga played a trick on him. Precisely the P can convert and overtakes Gabon, who, although he is winning the match, although he adds up, in this case, his first partial victory, must continue on this path because the goal difference is playing against him.
Sure, Gabon is winning and it's not enough. He's lost in the group. Look how bad Gabon has been and how hopeful he is at the same time today, because Gabon is going to need radically a victory for Cameroon. Cameroon's victory, Marcelo, especially if it is amplified in terms of goals, will perhaps give Gabon the chance to go and start to do the math if he can enter as one of the last.
Hasta aquí la tarea. And so far the task is being fulfilled, which is to win against Ivory Coast. He needs to, in this case, Cameroon, to surpass Mozambique and also before a number of goals that are quite interesting.
Otro que está pendiente de lo que contesta es another one who is watching what is happening is Sudan, which may also aspire. Benin has already entered as one of the best third places with 3 points. Tanzania entered with 2, Marcelo. So, well, Gabon has hopes of being able to enter. He needs Cameroon's victory, yes or yes, for at least a couple of goals and sustain this triumph against Ivory Coast. Anything can happen. Marcelo will have a free kick now. Ivory Coast will be. Or I asked the number 13, whoever does it by lift or some prepared play by land. Attention, look at the center of the camp. It's up there. The arrival of the Ivory Coast through number 14, Diaz, had been good. He recovers again, that the captain does. He puts him much further back to continue. And the people looking up, attention, can come against him. Be careful, be careful, be careful. There are many scares, but for now, the concretion is no. Mwanda, head of the goal itself. Bekele's miss, the ball suspended in the air, and the size like prayer so that the goal would not enter. For now, there is a free kick from the corner that will favor the Ivory Coast. We are in these first 14 minutes. He is winning over a 1-0 goal. He did it a little while ago. Or the Orca is 11 minutes into the victory. Costa will come, tie up the head to goal. The shot that came in being very disoriented. God sent. It seems that the power of Costa de Marfil is now preferred by the aerial part, Marcelo, because the first one Gaboni had below, he sent it to the back.
That's right. It was effective. That's the word in this case. Gabon, who is winning 1-0, but doesn't make it. You said it, Ariel. For now, Cameroon is staying in first place with 5 units. Ivory Coast retains its second place with 4 units. Mozambique, that is tying 0-0, also reaches 4 points. And in this case, Gabon is left with 3. That's why he needs the team that is winning this match to surpass Mozambique.
Greetings from Antioquia. A big hug for Muratinaz, Toy, saying, come on, Ivory Coast. We need to quickly win. A big hug from those first 2 comments there with the 140 devices connected on the Rey Deportivo channel to live. Ivory Coast 0-1 and 19 likes. We have to keep increasing, share it on the other side. We read them, we always accompany them. Both Marcelo and I will be incessantly greeting all those who are connecting and leaving their comment there, as we will also ask Marcelo Boxy in 2 more minutes to tell us how the round of 16 keys are being held. We are going to be bothering our commentator with that information so that you don't miss anything of what is happening in the exciting definition of the African Cup of Nations. Today, ending the group stage, Bikele comes out playing number 16. He does it from the goal that Gabon defends, quickly recovers. Now, Ivory Coast there. Operi has it. Operi, who makes him play as captain. then there was a combination and a foul. There will be the first yellow card because they will pass it to one of the players on Louis, who was falling. And there is a first yellow card that I think will be for number 22 with Marcelo over 15 minutes if Gabo wins 1-0.
Yes, and we'll see if he can sustain this result. So far, he's winning it because he was able to take advantage of that only real possibility, that false start, right, of the Costa de Marfil goalkeeper. But it seems to me that the Elephant team, Jack, is already equaling 0-0, had a proactive idea. I don't want to imagine now what these minutes will be until the end, the first 45 minutes. Beyond that, I insist that the ticket secured to the next one instance will look for being able to tie it quickly, and that the story will not get complex.
Exactamente, vendrá el tiro. Exactly, the free kick will come due to elevation towards the penalty spot. The header that rejected him precisely there in defense. When Costa de Marfil came to want to score, he will have a free kick from the corner that he already does quickly. The Elephants' attack does not stop. He ends up rejecting Dong. Doubles counter-attack. Comes out. Let's see if he has Topibre. For now, there is no toll. Even marching forward on the left wing, Cameroon is coming first. It's coming in third. Now, Côte d'Ivoire, Mozambique. They're changing positions. Marcelo will be going through everything related to it because it seems to me that there's news. It seems to me that there's news at any time. We're going to be giving it to him. Kanga is attacking now. Kanga is trying to turn around. Fernando ends up losing. There's going to be an infraction that the judges marking. Assistant number 1 of Ivory Coast. What's happening in the other parties, Marcelo?
Sí, en este caso, yes, in this case, we continue reviewing the activity of the other parties because it is directly updating results.
Fantástico, entonces, fantastic then, living inch by inch so that you don't miss out. We thank your subscription, your comments. We're going to read everyone and tell us where they're listening to us from following this good broadcast of Relay Deportivo. And leave us your like which is so important to feel accompanied in this third day, living this definition between what this Ivory Coast 0 match does. Mozambique for now 0-0 with Cameroon. We will all be bringing you all the results, the positioning, and the possible combinations of how the crosses are. Of course, what could happen while we're here in 20 minutes that we're winning. Gabon 1-0. Costa Rica has the ball at the back. It's not much. We quickly want to tell you that, remembering that the first of this group will be playing against the second D, that is Burkina Faso, for now, is playing with Cameroon. Marcelo.
And that's right, one of the possible crossings could be the one you just mentioned. We also have to mention that Senegal would be measuring against Sudan. Mali, in one of the already confirmed crossings, will have Tunisia as its rival. The Morocco team will receive, in this case, Tanzania. Egypt will do the same against Benin. And Algeria, in one of the most interesting matches, will be measured against the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Así es, hay partidos interesantes. That's right, there are interesting. That on the other side, when it was recently, we had been in a doubt for a very harsh infraction on Olai. The number 22 received the warning that is for yellow. Those who are representing Gabon, we ask everyone not to forget to leave their like, their comment in the chat that we can read it, because we love to know where you are following this broadcast from. We always emphasize it because it is the way we have accompanied each other. For now, Gabon is not enough for Gabon, but he is doing what he should be doing. First, dealing a big blow, defeating the Elephants of the Ivory Coast. Second, hoping for what could become Kanolano. And from there, third, having the possibility of entering as a possible better third, even if they later have to play against one of the big ones. One always wants to keep playing with that. That's what each player dreams of. Berlin has been attacked.
He has been going into the area. Careful that he advances with everything. Obviously, the second shot can come.
Joy again, he dresses in yellow, and finally, but on the right again, the preference for attack by that sector of the Gabon team. Those of Muyoma are giving more surprises. There are two. Bowen came back on the left, finished with his right leg crossed, sent it to the opposing post of Afon. Marcelo Boxia surprises Gabon. Gabon 2, yes, Mundo. Gabon 2, Costa 0.
Actually, a surprising result, right? Because 1-0 no longer seemed like a result that didn't fit it. At least everything they have been showing. I mean, both teams in this. Look, taking into account that Costa de Marfil, it is across the street and will participate in the next World Cup. The truth is that it had the second chance and the second goal. It has been effective. The team of Gabon, who in the previous match in offensive matters had fulfilled, right? Because although they had lost, the defeat had been 3-2. But well, they are winning the match. They are doing, I insist, their task. But here it will depend on what happens in the other result. They know what is happening in the other match. There is a goal from Mozambique. Mozambique wins 1-0. That's why Gabon's story gets complicated beyond the fact that he's winning his match.
Changes everything. Changes. And 6 points. 6. Obviously qualifying already with 4 points, but it radically changes the opponent. We will be reviewing then. It would be precisely every hour the second position. The second, we remember that the second in Group F is going to play against South Africa. It is that Sudan would currently be receiving Cameroon.
Sí, así es. Por eso, yes, that's right. That's why it's important to be able to continue here at Rey Deportivo, because a goal can change not only the positioning but also the teams precisely living inside or outside this African Cup of Nations. Well, Gabon's team is winning, Mozambique is doing it, and they are following a priori the two teams that start as candidates.
Así es. Y además, that's right, and it would also be playing in Mozambique as the first in the F facing Burkina Faso. Look at the combination of how everything changes. That Mozambique with gold in the desert, and Burkina Faso would be receiving Mozambique precisely. Unexpected rivals of the round of 16 when Gabon has been attacking again, but he couldn't. He comes out playing in defense on Ivory Coast. Mozambique leader, Cameroon second, Gabon third, fourth, 6, 4, 4, 3 in what the points Mozambique does, surprising everyone by running from behind like a racehorse to pass in the last meters and reach first position. That's why I was talking about surprises. Life gives you how it's usually sung in some songs of latitudes. For now, Ivory Coast is unable to believe what is happening. How is the chat, Marcelo? What do people say?
Bien, está pendiente. Well, he is pending the match. We greet Diego Bona, who says good broadcast. Greetings from Argentina to our comrade also there. They tell us that Costa de Marfil must win. Well, for now, history is getting complicated with almost 180 people on the other side. We invite you to leave your like. We have 20. We want to get there quickly to the goal of 30 thumbs up. To subscribe to the Rey Deportivo channel so as not to miss future broadcasts, because we must also point out, it seems to me that after this third day, we are going to start to see the most beautiful part of this type of contest, which are the famous one-on-one.
Claro, sí, tal cual. Los octavos. Sure. Yes, exactly. the round of 16, which we will have also because of Rey Deportivo, will surely start next week. We will surely be reviewing those days of when the matches will be played with this definition. For now, as we were saying, Mozambique, Burkina Faso. To pair between the first of F, which is Mozambique, surprise, when Burkina Faso is the second of F. The first of F goes against the second of F. Mozambique then playing against Burkina Faso in what is the combination of Egypt, Benin, Expera, Senegal, rival, of course, to find out who it could be. Costa Rica gets complicated, and quite a bit. The third of the F goes to any place. And Ivory could be a rival, for example, of Nigeria. It could be a Nigerian rival between some, or it could be a Senegal rival. How expensive it could be for Costa Rica, precisely around number 13 in FIA. There will be an X in the background.
Yes, it could be very expensive. This the defeat consulted me when the octaves of the round of 16 start on the 3rd. We will have action next Saturday. For example, Senegal will be measuring against Sudan, and we will also have the match between Mali and Tunisia. The local team, we are talking about Morocco, would have its participation only on Sunday. For now, Tanzania, it is a rival, and then this cup will continue on Monday with Egypt's presentation against Benin. And on Tuesday, we also have action because Algeria is going to be measuring itself against the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Bombs had been attacked, but the Somali was collecting foul from Bonga, number 20, who was scoring the second goal. Defense departure for the Ivory Coast. That is according to the data provided by Marcelo Bozia, that the round of 16 of this African Cup of Nations will start next Saturday, January 3, 2026. Listen carefully, right? Rey Deportivo, we are in 2025. We will be leaving soon in just hours for 2026. Here in Morocco, we are already at 20:30, in places in Morocco at 7:30 in the afternoon at night, because we are in winter, precisely on a cold night. But well, the player begins to notice, of course, almost everything that is losing is like being at a party.
Yes, the people are, well, maybe waiting for the new year, right? I think it seems to me that the main reason, at least what has been seen in these 28 minutes of the first half, is to be reflected in that reason. No, for what his team has shown, that it has really been quite little. Then I would like to mark the fact when I have the next intervention.
Y si quiere, le doy la intervention. And if you want, I'll give you the interaction, because we're on match day 3. I think that as we have some matches.
Sí, así es, porque acaba de... That's right, because they just tied the Cameroonian team one-on-one. This benefits Gabon, because even though he is in 4th place, he is winning this match. 1 goal from Cameroon, 1 more goal, he would be positioning him 3rd.
At this moment, Peru would be facing Burkina Faso. That's why everything is changing, and that's why we love to share with all of you this type of information, because every goal starts to be crucial to define a match for the first 3 points. When here they are attacking Costa Rica, be careful, they are advancing on the wing. Aquiter's right, Aquiter's goal was hit. Bekalel's 16th control to send as a volleyball player, the ball out, so that a free kick comes from the corner. Not a ignore subscribing to Rey Deportivo. 30 minutes from the first half, Gabon 12 is winning, surprising everyone, and the positions change from one moment to another. Cameroon for now in the round of 16, because Cameroon is tying with Mozambique in 31 minutes. Here Gabon wins 2-0. Every goal is important because it changes positions permanently. Ivory Coast wants to advance. The discount can be a shot on goal. I was defending Montague. He continues on the right side, Ivory Coast. He wanted to filter the ball. That was imprecise. That's why there will be a lateral exit that Marcelo Gabon favors. 30 minutes, Gabon wins 2-0. In the same time, Mozambique and Cameroon, 1-1, the brackets of the African Group of Nations are on.
Yes, that's right. And I wanted to point out this peculiarity, that, for example, Mali equaled the 3 games, and advanced as the second with 3 units. And if we freeze how the table of positions would be looking in the group of thirds, as we say, well, Mozambique would be the best located with 4 units. That is, a third collector collected more points than a second. To complete the information, Mozambique is the best of the thirds. Benin is the second, who collected 3 units, just like Sudan and Tanzania, which would be the last team to mess with 2 units. It would obviously be a rival of the Morocco team that starts as one of the candidates and is also the host.
Sí, lo que hay que repasar, si en este momento that we have to review whether Mozambique or Costa de Marfil will be in third. I think what we have to review, but mainly the points, are the goal difference, because remembering that the second of this group is playing against South Africa. For now, it could be either Ivory Coast or Mozambique.
That's right. That's why it's so vital to follow the broadcast of Rey Deportivo, because we're going to be reporting on what's also happening in the match that for now has it tied 1-1 between Mozambique and Cameroon.
Advances to the Ivory Coast on the right via quite project, a touch to B. I'm going to play it again now, so that I leave it again for Via Quite. The discount comes in. The discount comes from Townshing. I hit the forward. Good play. Via Quite ends up hitting the left post with pure power. Via Quite only watched and raised his arms, grabbed his head, and yes, Via Quite was looking for breath, looking for his fans. A good approximation of Costa de Marfil, but he couldn't discount. Gabon keeps winning 2-0.
Yes, and after the second goal, consider Ivory Coast, beyond the fact that it continues to manage the actions, had 2 very clear chances, and in the same sector. The previous one resolved in a good way. The Gabonian goalkeeper here, I took it off. He finished, and the ball ends up hitting the unlocking. It was situationally dangerous for Gabon's team, that with this instinct of preservation and waiting and praying to the Lions of Cameroon, they are just marking a difference that every time they attack gives us the feeling that they can turn.
Cuidado que sale en falso la Fon. Beware that the FUN comes out. False attention. He lost it. The shot comes from the goal without a goal. No. The goal was there, but the goalkeeper wasn't there. The goalkeeper who came out with a shot from afar almost doubles third, Marcelo.
Well, and it seems to me that this false exit from FON reflects the moment of one and the other, right? The confusion, of course, de Marfil, that forced Sarquero to officiate as very central marker. Liberos left the ball short in a dangerous zone and said that he did not have the precision, the Gabon forward, to be able to hit the goal.
Costa Rica comes out playing on the left wing. Costa Guayas. The game has been dynamic. Gabon has lacked precision, because if he didn't, it would be catastrophic for Costa Iglesias. He wins 2-0, 34 minutes of this first half. Muyama's team is winning against the Fadi team. Surprising. Costa Iglesias has lacked everything at Igo cost. Accuracy in attack, Marcelo puts it in his comment, and also clarity, right? One thing is the expression when it comes to passing that he has missed, and quite a bit, and also the speed, the dynamism, the momentum has been well achieved by Gabon in defense, but one expects more from the White Elephants when they will now have a serve on the right wing, which Sohouri will do on that side. There is number 5 with his hands. He already propels into Akbadu. He will surely play much further back for Dioma, who towards the middle for Seri. They play again with Soja. There he can throw the center, see if they come on the right wing. Ivory Coast opens up well. Now he does it well, but they are quickly defending against the mark of the number 10. He has to rewind Ivory Coast again. He is cutting lines. He passes to the middle, looking for Crassus. He could not dominate. Gabon comes out cutting again from the bottom through Can. A ball that recovers the Ivory Coast with the captain, who continues. Went on the left wing to be put to run on this side. Seri, who is going to play for Opry.
advances the left back. Number 13, there Opry has her, decides to step back because she has no company. She is going to put her teammate Olawi to play. Agula has Olawi, number 19. He is going to change it so that if the captain comes to the shot towards the area, but he was cutting on Dako, number 4, before. He could not arrive in Dan. He recovers the Ivory Coast. The shot comes to goal. What close. But what close. The first warning from Costa Marfici. Serio, a good shot from outside the Lawi area, which is the most dynamic Costa Marfil. I recover it in the middle of the playing field below, right-handed, and giving a caress to and
yes, it was a very good move. Here, they put it together in the center of the attack, a shot from outside the area that seemed not going to generate too many dangers, but the ball started to close up easy, as they say. Gabon, who is winning the match, but unfortunately, it's not enough. Let me point this out, because the afternoon night had them as direct rivals for first place in Ivory Coast and Cameroon, but the Lions team is giving a hand to Ivory Coast, because although they have the same number of points as Mozambique, and in this case they are in second place, the particularity is that Mozambique has 0 goal difference and Costa del Ivory has -1. But here the first criterion to keep in mind is the match between themselves, where Costco's victory was for that reason. They would be with the second placement.
Claro, ese era el posicionamiento. Sure, that was the position that was being given. That's why the pairings are what we are constantly mentioning about what is happening in this African Cup of Nations, saying that the round of 16 for now, next Saturday, the Argentine noon, Morocco afternoon, Saturday, January 3. He will be referring to whether it is at 4 in the afternoon or at 3 in the afternoon. Yes, between 4 and 5 in the afternoon, Morocco time. Sudan will be playing Senegal for now, the same Saturday, but later at dusk in Morocco. Morocco will be playing Mariana against Tunisia on Sunday afternoon, of, for example, these latitudes of the Argentine Republic in some places in South America. And in the afternoon, Morocco will be playing Morocco against Tanzania and South Africa, expecting a rival from that weekend day here in Morocco. Progress for the side left, Ola does. Olawi, who's going to play in running up Reem, couldn't recover. Gabon already does it associately, and well, he is playing it for Oyono. He will come not for the 21st. No, now they decide to go to the middle so that the captain has her eliminated. He loses her quickly now because she has taken the lead, because she is pressuring the Ivory Coast team. Thanks to everyone connected. To you who are following the broadcast on the other side, we ask that you leave us your like. Your like, don't forget, it doesn't cost anything. Press where the little hand is with the finger up. Give us a like.
Yes, and in the other game, let me mention that there was a goal from Cameroon, but the central judge ends up overturning what would have been the second conquest. That's why they continue in 36 minutes, equalizing Cameroon and Mozambique 1-1.
Exactamente, aquí estamos. Exactly, here we are at almost 40 of the first half. Gabriel wins 12-0 in Ivory. An unthinkable result for almost everyone except for the Gabriel players who came out to play it well. Operi will be hitting the free kick from the corner that favors the Ivory Coast with the number 13. Raise your hand. There will be a play prepared. Look at the finish to the penalty point up. The header is coming, Becca. Becca, who dominated with his grips before, sure as steel. When the punchline of Agbadul, number 20, came in at the Esmeralda point, jumped with his forehead firmly, but his hands much better preventing him from reaching the discount on the Ivory Coast. We are in Morocco, living the African Nations Cup in the Rey Deportivo booth, leading them to the victory of Group F of the closing of this group stage of Gabon, 12-0 on the Ivory Coast, waiting for what happens with Cameroon and Mozambique, who are also drawing 1-1 through the last 5 minutes of each of these matches here. Gabon 2, Ivory Coast, Mozambique 1, Cameroon 1, along with Mr. Marcelo Bozzi on match 3 on this exciting definition of Group F. We'll see what the time will be that is added when the 45 minutes are completed. For now, we see it calm. Mogama giving some indication from the side, raising his hand, playing number 20. Apokul, who plays for Ori, comes from the Ivory Coast on the left wing. They put into play. Number 4 returns.
Now he partners with number 19, Olawi. Olawi, who changes it for 8, who saw dominating chess, totally dominated it. He lowered it on the right wing. The player is projected on that same side and remains again so that the captain does have it. He's in the lead. He's dominating everything. But for now, he can't on the scoreboard. He goes out playing Ivory Coast through Olawi. Number 19, they make him run at Opry. He's always preferred the left wing. The penalty center comes to the penalty spot. Attention. He can see that the Costa Rican discount is coming. No, Bekale. Bekale, when he finished at number 10, between Sahal number 10 and the defender, was bothered there at number 10. That's why Bekale took it off. Costa de Mafil seems to be arriving. But for now, he finds the good figure of the number 16, Bekale, Gabon's goalkeeper.
I was going to point out, because although there was no clear dominance, right, of the cast of the Ivory Coast, beyond the fact that in the last minutes it has been able to generate situations of danger, I think that Bekale is starting to be one of the figures of the match. We're talking about the Gabon goalkeeper who had a very good speech in the execution of the previous free kick, and here against the poisonous cross, he also was able to resolve in a good way.
That is to say that for now, Ivory Coast is finishing first, second, and Mozambique 0. That's why Marcelo was just talking about what has to do, perhaps, with some type of matching the doubt I had, because there they also asked us the question, why is Costa Rica coming in second, having -1, and Mozambique coming in third, having 0 difference? It is 4 goals in favor, 4 against, and Costa Ivory 2 in favor and 3 against. So it is an issue there to surely clarify later about how these pairings occur precisely about Group F we are going through. The last 3 minutes, it is gaining Gabon 2-0 against Cote d'Ivoire. If Cote d'Ivoire do it through number 19, Estella is letting Gope run again on the left wing as he has attacked almost all of these first 45 minutes. He wants to go out playing Gabon again. Now he would have, there was an infraction on number 12 outside. The man with the beard in black there, Kanga, with number 12 falling to the ground after the infraction that number 4 was committing. There will be an exit in defense to bring peace of mind for Gabon. Marcelo wins 2-0. Mo is very happy only looking at the score at the time of this match.
Yes, in relation to this consultation that you are making, for now, Ivory Coast and Mozambique have the same number of points, which are 4. Even Mozambique has a 0 difference, and only their rival has 1 less, but they will be in the second place, the team that has the worst goal difference. We are talking about the Ivory Coast, because in the confrontation between them, which is the criterion that is weighted, Costa won Ivory 1-0 in the match that opened this group.
Fantastic. So having clarified that day, that was possible. Then at the Ivory Coast, to be better positioned in Mozambique, we are talking about the day of Wednesday, December 24, when Costa Ivory beat it 1-0 then. In the Olympic system, that is known as such, in many latitudes of the world, Costa Ivory faced Mozambique, then it beat them and ends up being better position. Rules that change over time, where they generally always predominate points. Then the goal differences, but also in this Olympic system, in some competitions, it ends up transcending much more what has to do with the pairing between the two and the result they obtained when they faced each other timely. How was Costa Marfil's victory in Mozambique on December 24? We continue at Radio Deportivo. We ask you, please don't forget to leave your like, tag Costa Marfil, and goal! The excitement has arrived. Goal from Costa del Sur, a play that will be reviewed. Everyone was watching. The referee watched the assistant. Gabon's defenders also did it, which number 11 didn't do. They crashed, stayed still. They saw the loose ball. It seems to me that they arrived enabled and propelling the ball to the back of the goal after Saha's pass, the center of death, as some call it, the middle center, so that you only push the ball to the back of the goal. We're talking about Crassos. Number 11 gives him joy, hope. Now 2-1.
And for Ivory Coast, it can be the center of life, right? Because I lost it 2-0. Because after I that second goal, I came out with a different attitude. I generated situations, and here I could reach the discount, it seems to me, at a key moment, right? Because we're going to start playing the addition. I think the result has a certain justice beyond the fact that Gabon was really effective.
Y va a haber que estar atento a lo que pasa. And we'll have to be attentive first to what happens if Costa Brunfield ties this match. How would it be with champion? That matchmaking, the result between the two and others. Not to mention, if Costa Brunfield turns it around, because if Costa Brunfield turns it around, he will move it to Cameroon. Watch out that Ivory Coast has awakened. The elephants are shaking from the jungle here. Attacks through the African Cup of Nations. Ivory Coast, he wants to get to a draw before the first half ends, and he does it well. The ball comes by lift, ends up taking it out there in eliminated defense. He has property left, continues, advances. Ivory Coast on the left, preferred attack sector. They are letting him play well. Peru, the attention can be overturned. The goal can be reached. The second is coming. The tie is coming. The Z is coming. No. How close? Ivory Coast? Marcelo. How close? Marcelo. Ivory Coast alongside Perry on the left. Perry also arrived. That several were approaching the attack there. Also from Ivory. Costa has missed it. Costa's close to drawing now.
Yes, it really is going well in that game. Maybe the bad news that was agreed upon late, because we are playing the last minute. In addition to, we are already starting the last seconds. Well, the situation was clear and overflow by the left sector. A poisonous center that could not connect in a good way. The attacker who entered on betting sides, that's why he did not have the chance to reach a tie.
The truth is, Marcelo, that for now we know that Burkina Faso awaits Camerino Costa de Marfil. At this moment, Burkina Faso plays with Cameroon and South Africa with Costa de Marfil. What a match, huh?
They really are interesting matches where it seems to me that with the running of the competition, the matches will have a greater parity. But it must also be said, I hope it continues this way. We brought the data that Francisco Cruz, to whom we send a big greeting, we shared him and the transmission yesterday in the match between Botswana and, in this case, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Only 2 matches have ended in 0, so it's really celebrated from here, from Red Deportivo.
Vendrá en los últimos segundos. This first half will come in the last seconds. A free kick that will have a distance of 35 meters in the goal output will favor Gabon. We'll see what happens when he had a yellow card and the number 5 in the Ivory Coast team for this infraction and this free kick. The ball comes into the area. Dion Mande rejected the rebound again, so that Gabon ends up hitting him in attack. He goes on the wing. Finally, there will be an exit from the goal of the Kangal, who was finishing, who grabs his head. We can't believe it. A great clear play. Finished in the first half, ladies and gentlemen. Community of Red Deportivo, subscribe to the channel. We are living Gabon dos Costa, Marfil 1. An exciting definition of the BFF, this African Nations Cup. You have to enter the YouTube platform. Find the live and the direct, this live stream, live and direct, December 31 session at 9 at night here in Morocco, 5 in the afternoon in some latitudes of South America. We are going through this victory of Gabon dos 2. Gabon dos, yes, you heard right, Gabon dos 2, Ivory Coast 1. To now live the comments of Mr. Marcelo Boxer of these first 45 minutes and this partial surprise for now. We have also tied in Cameroon. We are starting to know that these players will be crossing both ways. Now Burkina Faso will play with Cameroon so far, and South Africa will do it with the Ivory Coast. Marcelo Bossi will be explaining why Gabon is winning 2-1, making a crash against the Ivory Coast. Gabon may not have enough, but he does complicate things for the Ivory Coast, at least his aspirations to be first for the entire Radio Deportivo community. Don't forget to leave your like, enter the channel, find the live broadcast, leave us your like, your interaction, and we share with you the story of the African Cup of Nations.
Let's review what were the first 45 minutes in between the Ivory Coast and the Gabon national team. I pointed it out at the end of the final comment of these first 45 minutes. Our narrator, Mr. Ariel Ramos, surprises here in Marrakesh. It surprises for different reasons, right? For the quality of some and others, because in this competition. In this African Cup of Nations, there came a point where they arrived here with different realities, right? We said that Costa de Marfil had won the first match by the smallest against Mozambique, because in the second match against Cameroon, I had to experience, I had tied 1-1, but the result maybe was brief. I mean, in relation to the production he had against the Lions, one understood that the cast that today wears an orange jersey had the chances clear to be able to take the 3 points. That's why we said that at the end of these first 45 minutes, we saw a team that tried, I mean, at the beginning of this match against Gabon, knowing that he was going to cross paths in the other match in Mozambique, Cameroon, the two teams that could be the strongest. I mean, in relation to what we've seen in relation to the score, and that could favor Marco's Ivory Coast, but nevertheless, Rafael Aguirre has really had a hard time with his story, because although in the first few minutes one understood that he was going to be the team that manages the game actions due to the hierarchy of its players, because it has the guarantee that although it could lose this match, it will have its ticket to the next instance. It should also be clarified that if it falls as third, it will have a much more complicated rival than now, but it seems to me that it has everything to turn it around. But in relation to what we have seen in these first 45 minutes, we were saying that it cost Murphy 30 minutes, had been the team that, with its proactive idea, tried to give it good circulation by constructing, since the last line with its defenders, trying to generate those spaces, those circulations in a way repentant, generating and seeking some lack of coordination in the back of the line, of the last line of Gabon, but none of that is Yuri. It has really shown itself as a slow team, a predictable team, and that made it easier, at least in the first part of this match, to align the initial plan that Gamon's coach had at some point in our broadcast. Our narrator said surprise and effectiveness. I added, in the case of what we were observing, because quickly, in a kind of great escalation of the group of Gabon on the left wing, the shot that complicated the goalkeeper of Costa de Marfil gave him the chance to attack the center to Thirash, the Gabonese goalkeeper, open the scoreboard and generate the surprise, the first one we were going to have on this night of Marquet. After the conquest, the match in relation to the position of some and others did not change, because although the Ivory Coast was the team that tried, in this case, to reach a tie, and quickly, I think they missed the road. I think they abused perhaps long balls, and that favored the strategy proposed by their rival. But quickly after the first conquest came the second bucket of cold water for the cast of Costa de Marfil, because in one place similar to, they created it on the right wing, and a ball cross found now where another of the great footballers that Gabon has to be able to break and advance 2-0 on the scoreboard. Well, paradoxically, I think the second goal was the wake-up call that Costa de Marfil needed, because after that, beyond the fact that up to here the impotence in offensive matters was evident, I think that there he could generate situations that generated danger in the Gabon team, and in the closing of these first 45 minutes could mark the discount and even we said it with our narrator. So he had a few more minutes left. He was lurking around the second conquest. The first 45 minutes have passed, where Gabon surprises and wins 2-1 partially, but it seems to me that Costa d'Ivoire's goal fell at a key moment. That's why it's important that you join Rede Deportivo. If you're on the other side, if you still haven't subscribed, read the invitation to do so as always, so you don't miss out on future broadcasts. We invite you to leave that like. For us, it's of utmost importance on a truly special date, December 31st. We're live with what is the presentation of Gabon ante Costa de Marfil within the framework of the African Cup of Nations. That's why I invite you to leave a like, which I insist allows us to keep growing, and also the suggestion is for you to activate the notification bell. It's very important that you do it because the platform automatically, Liz will be notifying you of upcoming events that are being experienced here in Rede Deportivo, because starting on Saturday, we're going to be with the action of the round of 16 of this group. We're going to review what we have left of the end of this analysis of halftime, how they have left the groups, the 6 groups of this Cup African of Nations in Group A. Morocco was the leader with 7 points, who finished in the second place, and here we were doing a stop with Ariel Mali. I insist, 3 units produced by 3 equalities. He didn't win, but his participation in the final phase was ensured as the second in the Group Egypt. In Group B, he also added 7 units and made, as leader of his group, the second in Group B. Data of South Africa with 6 in Group C. Who was the winner was Nigeria, who played 3 and who won all 3 games, added 9 units. The second was Tunisia with 4 units, and the third is Tanzania with 2 units. Group D, for now, what Senegal has, which has been the winner with 7 units, also obtained 7 units. Democratic Republic of How, and whoever gets in as third is the Mami selection in Group E, Algeria. It was the selection that the group won because it also collected 100% of the points, that is 9 units for Algeria, a team that will play the next World Cup. Second, finished Burkina Faso with 6 units, and the Sudan team that won only 1 match got into the next instance as third in the group of B, in the group that you live here in Rede Deportivo. The leader is Cameroon, who is winning 1-1 against Mozambique, who has 5 units. And the second is for now Costa de Marfil with 4 units, and Mozambique, which is also getting into the next instance, also has 4 units. Oh, we mentioned it together with Ariel Ramos that although they have the same Ivory Coast units as Mozambique, even the Ivory Coast cast has in this case, well, it matches the number of goals here. It will be of utmost vitality. The confrontation between them and the Elephants have been those who have imposed themselves precisely for that reason. In case of parity of points, they will be those who advance in the best placement. We are going to review, because we were talking about the Ivory Coast, and beyond this competition, we'll have the World Cup event returning, a World Cup after its participation in Brazil 2014, right? It should be noted that this team, although they're in the middle of the 2000s, had its start in the World Cup, participated in the 2006 edition, where in its debut it fell to the Argentine team, Then it participated here on this continent in South Africa 2010, and the last World Cup event, as we said, was in 2014. In this case, it will be part of Group E and knows all of its rivals. It will face Germany. It will have action against Ecuador, and will also have the closure of this group against Curacao, a team that entered directly and that belongs, in this case, to CONCACAF. We are going to review the matches chronologically so that we can review the elephants chronologically. On Sunday, June 14, its rival will be the South American team. We are talking about Ecuador, led by Sebastian Becassi against Germany. Another of the elections that must raise its level because, in this case, has had a participation in the last World Cups and in the last two, precisely to forget about after being champion in Brazil 2014. He had a participation in Russia 2018 where he could not advance to the round of 16 and unfortunately repeated his performance in the last World Cup in Qatar 2022. So I think part of it is with the obligation of maybe changing the last performances, because I insist the German team, beyond having a coach from the most promising, we are talking about Julian Nagelmann. I insist he has the obligation to be able to twist that course. And the last confrontation in this group stage will be against Curacao. We said one of the elections that has surprised, right? Because beyond the fact that I insist on this next World Cup, we have been pointing it out throughout the broadcast, and we will go from having 32 to 48 participants. Quotas have been opened and even benefited, for example, Curacao, because the confederation that organizes it is the one that makes it up. We are talking about CONCACAF, remembering that the World Cup will be organized and will be played in Mexico, the United States, and Canada. It will have Curacao participating, and we will see if it has the possibility of moving forward. Remind you that for the next World Cup event of the ordinary 48 participants, the first two from each group of four will access directly, and also, as in this contest, they will have participation in the 16th stage, first time in the World Cup that we have this system of dispute. They will advance the 8 best parties, so it is an item to keep in mind, right, for those who are slowly starting to join the world of football. Remember that we are here at Red Deportivo. Remember that the invitation is made for families to join by subscribing to the channel. They have the possibility through the bell of being able to be notified. It is of utmost importance. We always reiterate it because the platform will automatically give you the possibility that they are notified of the next events. And also the request is on this very special date on December 31, 2025, to give us the possibility of continuing to grow with the like, to be able to reach many more places, Ariel. Well, when they are going to see some modifications in the cast that he is winning the match, we see that the coach understands that it will be of utmost importance not trying to sustain this result, remembering that in the other match they are equaling Mozambique and Cameroon 1-1, is key to be latent in that match, because the last crossings will come from there Number 8 enters Gabon. He has retired. Number 22, we are going to be with that modification of he is the footballer who enters. He is there visualizing where he is going to be. We are close to the start of the 45-minute seconds. I don't know if I have you, Ariel, on the other side.
Así es, Marcelo, se nos viene ya. That's right, Marcelo, we're already on the second half. Can you hear me well? General, so we are already with the second half of what has to do with this 2-1 victory of Gabon against Ivory Coast, with the arrangements of Marcelo Bocci. We'll be right back, Marcelo, so that all the people of Radio Tivo know and continue to live what has to do with this second half, with these second 45 minutes through. Okay, we always tell them the same thing. We insist because it's a pleasure for us to make history, that you can subscribe to the channel, that you can leave us your like, your comment. It's very important for all of us. Interactions in the chat, of course, also to get to know you. From where is he calling us? From where is he following us? From where do you want us to read you, so that you can share together with us all that we have to do with impressive Group F. They come up playing profile on the right. They advance on that side. Now on the center for elevation number 5. Be careful that coming to the penalty spot. Now they're going to be on the top left again for the draw. Advance and press. Now, yes, Gabon manages to breathe. In the first minute and a half, Marcelo manages to shake the ground because he came with everything in Costa Rica.
Because he needs to continue with what he has shown in the last minutes of the first half. He was able to discount. I insist it was really key. It will be a really important action for the Ivory Coast team that needs to get to equality quickly. We want to get to the goal of 50 likes quickly, so leave your thumbs up.
Así es, gracias, gracias. That's right, thank you. Thank you. Let's go with those likes. Let's go with those likes. Come on, people. Let's activate the likes, activate the greeting, activate the channel subscription. Is a great pleasure for us, but we also like to feel accompanied, to feel pampered, loved on the other side, as it has been throughout 2025, reaching this December 31st, going through 9 at night in Morocco, living the exciting definition of Group F of the African Cup of Puerto Ricans. For now, Cameroon 5 points, Ivory Coast 4, Mozambique 4, Burkina Faso is playing against Cameroon for now in this round of 16 assembly line, and Costa Marfil surely for now, what is certain is that South Africa's rival in what will be the start of the final stretch is on Saturday, January 3rd of next year, the year in which in a few hours already in some countries of the world, Marcelo, it must be said, well, it has reached 2026.
Yes, that's right. Really an important meaning that surely when the fans who are in the stadium retire, they will be celebrating as we saw at some point in the first half.
Avanza Costa Marfil. Ivory Coast advances. We're at 3 minutes and a fraction. It's winning the Gabon team 2-1 for now. Surprisingly, we thank the 260 devices, users connected. Thanks to all of you. We greeted Diego Bona earlier, Muratinal C. Toyd saying, come on, Ivory Coast. Also for Dorian Doriani. For Shahan Khan saying, who can win? For now, Gabon wins. Also saving Cala Street, saving with the flags of the Ivory Coast. The same user is asking who wins one on the Ivory Coast. Also greetings to Chris 44D 4Q, encouraging Vagabond, each of those who have participated in the chat now with the poll and so on. Now there will be a way out that will favor Gabon midfield. We'll see who will do it. We'll review in seconds with Marcelo the modifications that have to do with the start of this second half, with the victory for now of Gabon 2-1 against Ivory Coast. We're in the first 6 minutes of this second half. Gabon advances on the right side, does it through hole number 21. Does the center come by elevation? No, by area. Didn't want to do it. They did it by land sector, but Diomande was rejecting a sideways start that favors Gabon in the first 6 minutes. Marcelo, Gabon 2-1.
Yes, and we'll review if you think the modification that took place in the team that is winning the match. Number 8 came in. We're talking about Loho. And the one who retired was number 22, Dog.
Perfecto. Entonces, perfect. So, Plain Lofield has entered the playing field with the number 8 so that he abandons number 22. It's a Don, one of those who was reprimanded after the first 45 minutes. And that was the replacement for this match. The first that favors Gabon, who wins 2-1. Immediately, doesn't interrupt without any problem about any news that comes calling, and there will be running quickly in the cabin to accommodate everything that has to do with the news that comes out of Cameroon, Mozambique, and the possible crossings of the final afterlife data that has to do with this African Cup of Nations, which we thank all of you on the other side who have shared throughout 2025 this bet on the air, audio-visual of the comments, the narratives of the different competitions worldwide, right? We have gone through, as I always say, the Champions League, the Europa League, the Champions League, Liga MX in Mexico, Latin America, with some leagues also from that country, from those latitudes. We have passed here through the African continent, the Rey Deportivo community. Never.
That's right. We reached the last day of the year, having gone through different events. And let me add that next year we will have a World Cup event. So it is the right time to subscribe to the Rey Deportivo channel so as not to miss future broadcasts. We also invite you and ask you, that's all we've been asking from Rey Deportivo, to leave a like, to press the like button that allows us to keep growing, and we also want to keep reading them.
Allí avanza ahora Costa de Marfil. Ivory Coast is now advancing. Their middle sector of the playing field. Who's attracting it? It's state number 8. Yes, the captain. There it dominates. It's opening to the right so that it comes. They're going to make it run. So Goril, currency number 5 advances, sending the center for the elevation above the header. And finally, a Fiat is back on the right side for Goyo. No, the precise mark of a movie to cut. Gabon can leave or prevents him with number 13. But for now, he's leading the actions. Gabon's result is winning 2-1. We greet all the viewers who are on the other side of the channel in this live series, in this live format. Narrations, comments, 250 devices, 43 likes. The Red Deportivo community continues to grow. Big hug to everyone on this final day. In the last minutes, for some of the world's attitudes of 2025, in others in Oceania, in Asia, it has already reached the end of 2025. They are already transiting the first hours of 2026. Advances with Costa Rica, does it with Jolie on the right, retreats to the middle of the field, always the defensive sector. Adva, Latina number 20, Abba, good play. And we settle here in the booth so you don't get lost. It's changing for you. Advance, number 2. Here you want to play for the Seri position. You couldn't reach, cut to the right on the bench. You have it. I can start running to the side here. I couldn't. There was no association. The Jules is marking the exit on the left wing that will favor the team from the Ivory Coast, Chebra Operi, that is from playing further back for Tio Mandela as the number 2. There he decides to accompany himself with number 19, Olawi. This one leaves him for Seri. Seri for Akudu. Number 20 changes it for 5. In good condition, advances on the right. Filter pass, good position for VIP. Attention that VIP is advancing. Crassus is also approaching. Now he tries to reject Mozak. He comes out playing from the back. Now the Gabon team is doing well. He is advancing on the left. He has been looking for Levenada. He has the number 18. There was an infraction that the referee is scoring. There will be yellow cards for player number 100, number 8. The captain, I think, of Costa Marfil. We'll see if he's finding number 8, number 14. Or one of the two was Marcelo's yellow card for the foul caused by Teka number 12. I think finally, yes, the sanctions for the 14th for the ERT that takes the yellow card.
Yes, that's right. It's a violation. Maybe in a real area where it seems to me that it didn't generate too many dangers because the footballer from Gabon was locked up. Let me inform you that there is a second goal from Cameroon. With this result, the Lions assure themselves in first place with 7 units. Costa de Marfil keeps 4, and Mozambique in third place with 3.
Perfect. Marcelo's novels there, and the commentator. There's a goal from Cameroon. We're going to be reviewing who the scorers were. Cameroon wins 2-1. They're losing a 2-1 profile position, but doesn't make it difficult for Cameroon to qualify then with this leading triumph of Group F. Will go to play against the second of the first of the F with the second of, that is Cameroon, will play against Burkina Faso and Ivory Coast for now, which is South Africa's rival, increasingly rooted in that round of 16 bracket. It seems that the fate of the Elephants of Costa Rica will be to face South Africans. There is a new infraction that favors Gabon. It is losing patience again in the floor. There is Kanga. Again, the fault was Gia. Be careful with the 14 that we are in a state. Gabon Lee convinces this development of the match with a partial 2-1 victory.
Yes, and also let me point out that in relation to the fact that at one point in the afternoon there was a certain parity between the Ivory Coast and Mozambique, and we said that the positioning in relation to the matchup of 100 benefited him and Costa Ivory. It should be noted that with this defeat, Mozambique recovers the amount of points. There are 3, just like Gabon. They even have the same number of goals in favor, the same number of goals against, but both Mozambique and America benefit from the match. The one that was played the last match day, Mozambique won 3-2.
O sea que no le alcanza de ninguna. So it's not enough for Gabon to get into it as a better third party. No, math doesn't what has to do with this victory for now partial against Costa Ivory when an incredible goal was lost. While we are there narrating, an incredible goal was lost. Filou, the cross that came behind, the shot of the number 8 that went kissing the post. Cabo Marcelo was close, huh?
Yes, with space he tries to generate some situation. I notice it beyond the fact that he has, in this case, control in general, Ivory Coast of the ball. I notice it a little more imprecise, and I will even tell you nervous. That's why Gabon is trying to take advantage of a great play. On the left sector, a cross that he couldn't connect, he was very close. Gabon increased the advantage.
La gran duda ahora que se pregunta. The big question now that some people on the other side of the chat are asking here on this broadcast, if Gabon really has any chance of qualifying or not, because it would seem that there is no certain chance, that is, that Gabon would be practically like.
Yes, because the result that is happening in the field, I would benefit it. That is the same number of points, 3, just like Mozambique, but for having faced and fallen in that match, he is eliminated.
Apparently nothing to Aragon for now to be able to qualify for. Virtually eliminated Gabon then, despite this partial victory, which was good, that it was leaving a smile on his people's faces, because no combination of results is enough. We were there head to head, receiving some data. Nothing is enough, even if Cameroon is winning and winning. It continues to be in last place with 3 points, with the same points as Mozambique, but there is the confrontation between the two that condemns it. Even if Mozambique died, it would be in the same situation, and even if Mozambique were to win, it would not be enough for it either. Gabon would be saying goodbye to the African Cup of Nations today.
Lamentablemente, unfortunately, as they say, it was agreed late, because it must also be pointed out that it is a team that is offensive. I think the effectiveness is the name that can, or the word rather, that can now fit perhaps defensively. No, it has not been up to par.
Exactamente. Por eso, exactly. That's why we always say, Marcelo, that all matches are important, because it's true. Today, this utopia seems this total impossibility, 100% certain that Gabon cannot make it through the phase. But each result is so important, because even having had other types of results against a direct rival would have made it possible for him to have perhaps the same number of points, but to surpass it by goal difference. That's when he starts to prevail. But, well, this Mozambique ended up condemning him. He advances, well, attention, he can be third. The arrival is good. The shot comes, the shot to the goal. Let it be. A goal, third goal. The arrival of Berlin was good precisely with number 27. He entered, he finished all that, but he ended up going way above the crossbar. The shot on goal was powerful, but totally exorbitant. When he hit 27, he missed the third goal and suffers Ivory Coast. and is qualifying second, but has an outlook for the worrying future. Amen.
That's what I was going to tell you, because although we said it at the beginning of this match, it tells you about the guarantee that any result will be put into the next instance. The image in terms of defense leaves much to be desired, and maybe Gabon, without the obligation, knowing that his future will be saying goodbye to this contest, takes advantage of these situations.
Lo cierto es que Mozambique, the truth is that Mozambique would be entering the round of 16, right, with a combination of the best third parties. Comoros in Group A has 2 points, Angola has 2 points, so they don't compete there at all. In Group C, Tanzania has 2 points that qualify, and then Group D, Benin has 3 qualified, Sudan is qualified, so Mozambique will be coming in.
Yes, he is also securing his ticket to the next instance. So he also, beyond the fact that it is a team that has complicated, at least from what one can see on the side of the other match against Cameroon, it will be a rival that perhaps in terms of offense has a certain similarity to what Gabon has shown. It has a certain hierarchy. It seems to me that in defensive line is where it has its main problem.
Así es, vendrá un tiro libre. That's right, a free kick from the corner will come. Costa Ivory wants to tie and then pass it to win it. It doesn't want to end this way, giving this image, even though it's achieving qualification, the center of Sahara will come with the number 10. He balls by lifting his head up to cut from Elimini. He has some time left for you. Again, the change to the side where the number 5 is. Sos Gori is leaving it again for Ruby. Surely it's time for Serisi. He advances on the left side, decides to recess again for the player number 4. They are going to put him to play now at 5. And this one is going to open it more. On the right here in the center of Biakite, he was rejecting Lofi with number 8. They are putting it for Eco. Now L19 has it. He tried to play with 27. Post 10, ending up losing it. Post 10 came towards the air, but he recovers little by little so that he comes out playing with number 20. Post 10 could come but he ended up recovering again. Now Lowfield is changing him now for the other wing so that on that side the 17 Popo appears. The referee was marking an infraction. We'll see who it is. But Mar Sartre, the referee Somali, to be saying that there is an infraction of a pull that they caused on one of the players' legs of Gabon. There will be a free kick for the yellow team. We are saying that they will be playing in the round of 16 next Saturday in the first turn. Senegal against Sudan next to the Ramali match against Tunisia. The next day, Morocco will also be playing against Tanzania in the afternoon. Morocco will be playing South Africa at night. For now, South Africa against Segundo will be Ivory Coast on Sunday night. In Morocco on Monday afternoon. In Morocco, Egypt Dream. Nigeria, we have to see what rival it is to play with. The truth is that Algeria will play with Congo on Tuesday in the afternoon in Morocco. Burkina Faso, for now, receiving or playing against Cameroon in what will be the day of Tuesday night. Morocco. Who would Nigeria go with, Marcelo? We would have to see the account of that interesting match. I leave it there to evaluate if Burkina Faso goes with Cameroon, Algeria with Congo, Egypt coming South Africa against the Ivory Coast, Morocco, Kasari, Senegal, Sudan. It's a single rival for Nigeria.
We are going to be reviewing what the Nigerian crossing would be. Well, another of the elections that unfortunately will not participate in the next World Cup, just like Cameroon. But today's example is the reverse. That I also wanted to mention is that for this African Cup of Nations, they have not qualified. Ghana and Cabo Verde have qualified teams that will participate in the next World Cup.
Ghana and Cabo Verde. Sure, Ghana and Cape Verde have not qualified in this African Cup of Nations and will be playing in the next World Cup. The other Nigeria.
Sure, we had it in mind, but sometimes it happens.
There are so many matches. Our dear friends from Rey Deportivo, Andres Camargo's production, we have experienced hundreds of matches, right? This is the great bet that this channel has made. Immense colleagues, and friends to whom we greet and wish they had a great day and excellent 2026. Ivory Coast advances. If you come from the right sector, it does it.
day by day with pure power. It advances, it runs over the entire 14, it takes away everything. Be careful, sir. I took away. It has a yellow card, one more yellow card, and they're going to expel him from the match. He approaches Sartan, he has a blow from behind. He's telling him to take it away from him. Be careful, Marcelo, because there went to be a yellow card and the expulsion on number 14.
He has the truth and irresponsibility of the footballer, knowing that the ball was difficult to control because it was going outside the limits of the playing field. It seems to me that in this case the judge will forgive him when the body enters to attend the Gabon soccer player.
There's complication, there's suffering in Costa Rican fans because they understand that what's on their team isn't everything and that the image is quite pale. Nigeria, Miguel is the big candidate, the big candidate with Morocco already. I think between Nigeria and Morocco, for me at least, this humble appreciation, perhaps one of the candidates to win this African Cup of Nations. Nigeria will then be receiving Mozambique. What rival will Mozambique have in Nigeria, or what will have to run against those unwavering lions? Here the white elephants are falling precisely in front of them. Gabon already eliminating the Applied Nations Cup, reviewing everything with Marcelo Boxia, knowing that Nigeria is going against Mozambique, that precisely they will be receiving Burkina Faso because Camino is coming in first and will go against second in Burkina Faso's group. So Cameroon, Burkina Faso for now, Costa Marfil and Nigeria, Mozambique in what has to do with the participation of this group F. Costa Marfil advances on the left. It does so on that side of player number 19. Hello, UI. It ends up losing to the number 21 recovers Costa Rica. Again, the pass for Ite comes, advances number 14, filters towards the middle for the arrival of Poisier. He couldn't. There was no approximation, uncertainty in that pass. Portalo comes up playing again, but he quickly recovers. Ivory Coast rained the balls. The divert, he went down to the chest right there, precisely. Player Crasso, number 11. But they end up snatching the ball from him. In the end, Costa Marcelo was close enough.
Try to be able to mark that tie. I think the performance of the team has decreased considerably. That's why there are going to be changes. I see Traore, number 24, and number 22, who are also going to enter. I think number 8 is withdrawing, which we are watching. He hurries. And the other one who's going to retire is number 10. Oh.
Así es. Que sí, con la 8 y sacar. That yes, with the 8 and take with the 10.
That's right. Traore enters with number 24. And number 22, we are going to be reviewing the name of the soccer player.
Perfecto. Entonces, Traore. Perfect. So I work with the 24, replacing 100 to the captain, number 8 in Ivory Coast, and left the number 10 Sahaha for those who enter the same team in Ivory Coast with the new number 22, your teammate, your Quadfer. We're talking about the number 22, Ivan Zan in Costa Marfil. What up the changes in Costa Marfil? Try to invite their team with the party in the stands. For now, it's not enough. We're already going through the last 20 minutes with goals from Kanga and Boga at 11:21. Costa Marfil is winning Crasolo's goal at the end of the first half, with which he gives certainty to Profile Bet at least to tie this game. Dennis Bogan and Galore, Changa and John Phillip, or the scorers of this game, with which Gabon beats Gabon 2-1 to Red Deportivo Costa Marfil. Based on Costa Marfil, based on the left side, the goal can come on the shot. Now it does come, but it goes up. What a pity. It had been a good approach, and the shot finally there in attack from the number 4 Serie A player. Coach Mo and Gabon natches, smiles, knowing that he's giving a good impression to his team, at least in the farewell, staying high on top with all the incentives of what it means to win an international match.
Yes, as a result, it is important. Perhaps, I think they will regret it, right? The 2 previous games, because the particularity of this tournament is that Gabon will add 3 points if he wins this match and will be eliminated anyway. And Tanzania, that didn't win that added 2 points has the chance to continue in competition as bad as Malin. Not that it couldn't win any matches. It got in second with only 3 points.
Vaya premio, Marcelo. That Marcelo prize for Tanzania, right? Facing
Igualmente también. Likewise, it must also be pointed out that he had not won any match. If most likely he will win one of the strongest, but well, he advanced and he has the illusion, right? This is football beyond the fact that he will have one of the toughest rivals.
Some compared the fans suffering from the Tanzanian fans who have this award, also very important, of playing on Morocco on Sunday afternoon in front of a local team, as well as the suffering that some fans had in some latitudes of the Argentine Republic, such as racing fans, but the comment was for another time. We will analyze it when we go to visit those Argentine leagues too, that part of South America. A hug to the entire community, racing, who are also on Deportivo broadcast, as they do from Mexico, from Holland, from Italy, from London, from Gabon, from, of course, Close to Profile. A great affection for everyone, whatever the color of the shirts. There will be a free kick that favored the Ivory Coast team.
So he tries to reach that equality. We said that the footballers who came out so much that if it's like Wilfred here, they had some good 30 minutes in the first half of the game. I mean, in the final stretch, I think that with the run of the game, they were diluted, right? The appearances of these footballers must also be taken into account, that the competition is really complex in relation to the calendar. It is not played very often, and also the time of year, I don't know if it helps that much. I mean, because it is played at the end of the season.
Claro. Sure. Each calendar has a specific value according to the confederations or leagues. That's what Marcelo Vox is talking about regarding what's happening now in the African Cup of Nations. Victoria de Gabon 2-1, 72 minutes against Costa Profi, 2-1 against Mozambique. They are making it possible for Cruz Cameroon, Burkina Faso, South Africa against Costa Profi, and Morocco against Mozambique to assemble the keys. Finally, the keys are assembled in what has to do with this definition of this exciting Nations Fiscal Cup. It resumes play and advances Gabon and wants the third and wants to bring joy. This kind of yellow African, yellow submarine that advances right from the center that came. The rejection in defense of Diomande, to see now a free kick from the corner that he was trying to promote. Number 27, Berlin, now coach Movo gives indications to some players who do pre-competitive exercises, surely some variants, some more substitution in the last 15 or 10 minutes of the game. There will be a free kick from the spinner. In attack, right sector favors Gabon, who wins 2-1, approaches the area, among others, the position of Oko, of the captain of number 18, of a good bearing. He is marking him with Pokemon number 13 open. He will come to the center for elevation, but he ends up going too long. Ivory Coast comes out on the right side, proposes the PIT. PIT has to go back, play much further back so that it has it over. There you have it, number 5. We're in state. Let's remember this Costa Phil game. They're changing it for series, advancing on the left. Who will they go for? No, they have to play on the right again so they can play Traore. They have 24. They recently entered. They played for Sokobi. Again, Sokobi was able to play for VKT. No, the 5 doesn't want to go with the 14. They prefer to go with the number 20. With Aquadu there, they have Aquadu. Now they have played for Diamonde and Arcudopri. There they have 13. They dominate with Surda. They have played towards the middle where Traore is. They have it on the 24th. We're with Marcel Voxia, Ray Deportivo. Don't forget to leave your comment in the chat. Don't forget to leave your like. Advance to number 19. He's playing for Sobri. He's still in control of the ball. The cast of Ivory Coast, we're already going through the last 16 minutes of this second half. The Copa Africana Nacional winning Gabon 2-1. Leave it your likes. Tell us where you're writing to us from. How the other match, Marcelo, it's going on between Cameroon and Mozambique for Rey Deportivo. Let's see what information we have about this group F.
Regarding the other match between Mozambique and Cameroon, Los Leones are winning 2-1 and are positioning themselves as leaders with
Cameroon's men are winning. Another great team, another great combination of adjustment that is playing in this African Cup of Nations. That has been exciting. That has given us many incidents to analyze, many goals always to comment on, to narrate. There is a player who is down
here in the Gabon team. The game is interrupted. We are experiencing it through Ray Deportivo, channel number 1, that is giving you the best of the broadcasts. This African Cup of Nations, bringing you all the best information, the best content, so that you don't miss anything, right? We, Marcelo Boxia and Cabona from Costa Rafil, are also playing Mozambican from Cameroon for another of our Ray Deportivo channels, and we are also following some data that has to do with Cameroon's partial victory over Mozambique, a result that is making it possible for both of them to pass new substitutions.
That's right. In the group that is losing this meeting, number 15 is also going to be entering number 17. We're going to be reviewing the modifications.
Es el número 5 que se ha ido. Number 5 that has gone, and also
Sí, así es. Se retiraron. Yes, that's right. 5. The number 14 retired. Well, we could also tell they were exhausted. This is actually general soccer players. Also, Gabon's number 20, who took part of his foot and undertook everything in his seat to play a tournament of such magnitude.
Así es, se ha ido. That's right. The number 21 in Gabon, Oriono, has also been replaced. They have left the playing field. There will be a free kick now that favors the Ivory Coast that goes for the tie. Ahmad tries to do it. Precisely number 15 that recently entered. There was an infraction there that made him number 18. Eliminated, pound shot in favor of Ivory Coast. We will be reviewing the changes no more to tell you all what has happened from the bench of substitutes with these substitutions in both Gabon and Ivory Coast already. We will be clarifying who are the ones who have enter the free kick that will now go in attack in the team of Radio Marfil. There you go. Let's see who will hit Matt. I also see him located at Orawi. Who will finish. We're going to be right back with the changes. We know that Sori came out, entered his place, number 17, Dowe. There we have the first change then. Dowe with 17 instead of Sohori, and also Dialogue with 15 instead of Dite. Dialogue is also the other who has entered with number 15. Then there are also some more changes taking place. In Gabon, the name dance has started.
Yes, that's right. Modifications in both teams. As you were saying, Diallo, the Manchester United footballer, entered with the number 17 too. With the number 15 and the number 17 are the footballers who have entered, well, trying to at least rescue a draw.
Tiro libre que venía de Amar. Free throw that came from, but ends up going over the top. Goalkeeping lane. Escaped from danger. The Gabon team, the free throw that came from the left, but ended up coming way above. We are going through the last 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes to the end, already approaching. On Via had retired from the field. Number 13 also in the Gabon Oriono, and on Via 21 and 13 team also outside the playing field. We'll go over all the names of these changes right away.
For now, they are winning 2-1, the number 24. In Gabon is Duma Colino, who retired, was number 21 we are talking about.
Perfecto, entonces, perfect. So the player, Arachelo, both Marcolino instead of Oriono, one of the changes, also entered Openda to go to Olfia. That is number 28, or 28 to go to.
Así es. Bueno, ambos and that's right. Well, both coaches opt for giving minutes to footballers who, up to here, may have had paper secondary. I mean, Gabon's ones here too. We have to, focus and think about whether the initial 11 that the Ivory Coast coach arranged has been the correct one. I mean, in this of dosing loads, right? I insist it's a moment of the season where the footballers start to feel physical and mental.
Sí, absolutamente, son decisiones. Yes, absolutely. Those are decisions we have already seen in other elections that went third match day and in a fairly promising qualifying bet they start to seek rest and also speculate about these scores. Sometimes they are risks that it is not the same to qualify first and second. The opponent changes. A first can play against the third. A second can play against the first. Everything can change. Everything can happen. So, well, that's where those speculations, those regulations, forces, as Marcelo rightly said, have a certain type of danger. You're not in any danger. If you're on the other side of the chat listening to this narration, these comments, we thank you all beyond the number. Sometimes we have thousands of people listening to us. Today we are hundreds for this Gabon 2 profile cost one. The gratitude goes to each one of you, to those who have left their message, to those who have subscribed to the channel, to those who have passed and have remained live. And of course, we also ask you to leave where the little hand with the thumb up is and the famous like. The like is the like for all of us who feel accompanied that way. The position of the ball has been distributed, Marcelo.
Sí, más allá de que, yes, beyond the fact that the predominance of the team that is losing the match, I think it was equating it little by little, the cast of Gabon, that although it has tried to cut off the circuits and play, it has also had possibilities of increasing the score.
There, he tried to advance to the Ivory Coast. He did it through dialogue. He wanted to see a combination with Crasho, but he couldn't either. He did it. Now he ends up recovering the ball in defense. The team that everything means to cut, There's going to be a new change, 26-11. We'll see who it is. Ivory Coast then looks crazy. The number 26 is going to enter the Ivory Coast. It's going to be complicated. We're talking about the player Diomande Young.
Sí, así es. Yes, that's right. Well,
What?
It was also noticeable, exhausted. One has to reiterate the case because the intensity of the match has decreased, knowing that Costa de Marfil already has access to the next instance. It will advance as the second. And here the coach seems to me that with good attentiveness, assertively gives rest to those who want to take care of the most important thing in this tournament, which are the round of 16.
Avanza Costa Marfil. Advances to the Ivory Coast. He tried to do it at least by left receiver through Queza, number 22, who was dancing, proposing a foot, but he couldn't get out of that pressure zone that the defenders of Gabon proposed, like Dumarcorino did, number 24. The ball will now be in defense at Ivory Coast. The 23 goalkeeper has it. I'm going to put up back two. I wanted to play with Diamond D. They'll make him run on the left side with the number 17 overflowing attention. It could be good. The center comes. But he was cutting in defense there quickly. One of the defenders touched the number 17 of the midfielder, who was going down to retreat for that advance on the left that the Elephants tried to reach. The run had been good with that side of player, number 24 of Marcolino. Sorry, the number I say, 22, that Sam was also arriving. And finally, on the 24th, he tried to throw the center and was cutting on that side. There will be a corner kick that will favor Costa Marfil. Surely there are 10 minutes left with what is added in this match. The header comes with a goal zero. Goal! Ivory Coast type. The unexpected milieu for the Elephant team occurs. Finally, it was 22 Gesam. There is 10 minutes left until the end. They get the long-awaited draw for the Ivory Coast. The corner that came from the left jumped higher, which is all Mont with number 22, the one who entered a while ago, with a great fracture to the left post before Bekele's surprise look. The Costa del 22 draw came Gabon 2 for Rey Deportivo.
And equality is given. In this case, it seems to me that the tie between Ivory Coast is fair, which, although its production had decreased in relation to the end of the first half and the beginning of the second stage, finds the goal through a header, a shot that could do nothing. Gabon's goalkeeper equals the score. With this result, everything remains the same, because in the other match, Cameroon continues to win 2-1 over Mozambique.
Estamos entonces haciendo. We are then doing the Ivory Coast 2-2.
we will be correcting the details there in the official broadcast of our YouTube channel. The truth is, if you don't ask if we're live, of course, Wednesday, December 31, 2025, the 10 at night is approaching here in Morocco. There are people tying Gaboni and Costa de Marfil 2-2. Thanking all of you for these 50 likes, for these 220 Gabon to Morocco devices. A tie came then finally from Deges.
Para que conserve. And so that he maintains his undefeated streak, I think we could have a great goal by the end, because Gabon is going to have to come out and look for another opportunity to take the lead on the scoreboard. And I think Ivory Coast is going to put their men on offense, and surely, I insist, we're going to have a few more goals. I also want to thank the people who have joined this broadcast, the more than 220 people on the other side, for the invitation to not miss future broadcasts. For that, they have to subscribe to the Rey Deportivo channel. Also, the latest efforts so that they leave us. That allows us to continue growing. If everyone on the other side leaves us that like, they're really going to give us a night of everything spectacular, celebrating the World 2026 all over the world.
Así es, los comentarios de Marcelo Boxia. That's right, Marcelo Boxia's comments for this top hand-tied Gabon and Costa del. The exciting definition of Group F of the African Nations Cup ends. Will be reviewing Gabon's goals again. Denis Bouanga and Gregor Kanga. Ivory Coast goals, Ivan Besani, Jean-Philippe Grassot. For these 4 goals we've had in the match, are still now leaders. In Cameroon, second Ivory Coast, Mozambique, and third Ivory Coast is coming, and they want to win it. Then comes the goal shot. How close, but how close. The third goal was now scored. A cross that came from the left, the ball that was loose there. And finally, the shot of one of the players from Costa Rica in a series which could not be precise. Now, Marcelo marking the third.
And it's really good in the match. The goal revitalized it. We'll see if it can reach that third conquest. We'll have approximately 5 minutes plus what they add from a game of high voltage.
Perfecto, el marcador ahí, Marcelo. Perfect backer there, Marcelo Boxia from our Red Deportivo Costa in Marfil to Gabon. We are going through the last minutes. We thank all those connected. Seri was the one who finally finished well above 10 meters above the horizontal, also with the arrival of Amas. And Costa wants to win it. He wants to go for the honor of the triumph. And why not end up with a better feeling? The truth is that losing 2-0 has cost him a lot. And this match at the Costa Madrid is now more than taking it out, because he's not losing, but, well, the image that remains in the retinas is worrying in the face of what will be the future round of 16 of this African Cup of Nations competition. Group F, remembering that this Group F is also with 7 points, Ivory Coast with 5, Mozambique with 3, Gabon closing for now with 1 unit. Gabon is left without any win when he is winning 2-0. We are in what has to do with what is the position. For now, the final that is taking place between types of Group F. Cameroon continues to win 2-1. Here we are with a partial draw between Gabon 2, Ivory Coast, and Rey Deportivo. Don't forget to leave your subscription. Leave your like, huh? For now then, Mali, Tunisia, Morocco, Tanzania, South Africa, that will be playing against the second group, is Costa de Marfil, Egypt, Benin, and is losing against Mozambique, Algeria against Congo, which has to do with this action of the round of 16 of this competition of the African Cup of the Nations is coming. We don't lose anything, as he also wants to do against Medfield, who is going for the third goal. He overcomes on the left side for going to the center. Corner, center, corner, center. Nothing. Lehman ends up rejecting number 18. Lehman regains the ball. The ball is in no one's power because the referee, Omar Sartan Somali, comes over to see what happened to Popo.
Yes, it ends better, the Ivory Coast team. But you also said it in your comment, the image that has been left has been, if one has to position it on an imaginary balance, I think more negative than positive. I say for the rival, because you also have to keep in mind that he's a coach who's going to play the next World Cup, right? So I say facing powers like Germany, like a team against, or rather against a team like Ecuador that has been working very well in recent years, well, it can get complicated. It has 6 months to be able to correct some issues, but it has not been positive at all, this production.
Intenta salir jugando Gabon. Gabon tries to come out playing in the middle sector of the playing field. We are approaching the last seconds of this tie between Gabon and Costa Marfil. 2-2 dominates on the left side, which Lou is now playing. To eliminate the ball that is stuck there will come from the center. Neither one could do it, but now finally the goal comes in shot. It had been good. Kanga's attempt is going out. 2-2 the Gabon Costa Marfil match. 90th minute, it's over. The finals, Rey Deportivo Community. Take note, Mr. Marcelo, take note, Rey Deportivo. Community finals next Saturday, January 3rd, at the Vespertino schedule in Morocco. That is, in the afternoon in Morocco, Senegal, Sudan will be playing. Same day, Saturday night, Morocco. And next Sunday afternoon, Morocco, Tanzania. The same Sunday afternoon, Moroccan night, South Africa will now be playing against the second in this group, which is Ivory Coast, the rival that is tying with Gabon 2-2. Egypt, Benin will go on Monday afternoon, Morocco, when Costa Rica is being attacked now on the left. We are going to interrupt him. The center comes up. The header comes, goal, enjoy. Goal from Costa Rica and Ivory. Guys, Ivory.
We broke the round of 16 because the Ivory Coast now does dance, now does smile in the minute added to the regulations. The center that came from the left and not precision to raise the ball, and the header was strong and crossed for Ivory Coast to prevail, and now they are winning it 3-2. They lost the match 2-0. Ivory Coast turns it around now. Center left, the header. I think it finally ends up being behind. We'll be reviewing Marcelo Struth, who is now winning the Costa de Marfil team, De Palomista, in Los Angeles, and looking for joy. Finally, Trio is giving Costa de Marfil the victory, who wins 3-2.
I told him, Swimmer, we're going to have one more motion at the end of this match. I have to tell you that it doesn't change my opinion. I think it was a really irregular match by Costa del Valle, but they ended up winning it. Well, the footballers who have entered have given them the possibility of turning history around. They shout it. We just saw Lafon, the goalkeeper of the White Elephants, who with this result positions himself in a good way.
Player number 24, finally, Bozenmore. Torre, precisely the first surname of the number 24. That Palomita is giving the Ivory Coast victory incredibly. Gabon, well, that's why Gabon had to go Marcelo. He won it 2-0. He played well with a gust of substitutions and empathy with the game. Costa Rica turned it around.
Yes, and something similar happened to him. It was a procedure similar to the last one against Mozambique, right? That ends up losing 3-2. It's a team that, I insist, in terms of offense, really has shown a lot of performance, but they have struggled to manage the game. It seems to me that this is what describes this team that is going to retire from the competition, at least until now, without units, but has a free kick really important. Everything.
The substitution was number 7, replacing 20. Gabon will come as a free kick. Nothing changes in Marcelo's actions. You're not going to be wondering if it affects something that's happening with Cameroon, Mozambique. This Ivory Coast victory, the free kick for Gallon will come. We're going through the last minute and a half of the match. Let's see if Gallon can tie it. He'll have another goal. We've had 5, huh? No, nothing, huh? Nothing. Kangalo threw it. He threw it. He left it elevated and imprecise. The free kick that Kangalo made, number 12, keeps winning Ivory Coast.
And it seems to me that we are going to have a fair result, because although Gabon's first effectiveness was advanced twice on the scoreboard, the team that had prevailed in the end of the first half, and then it seems to me that at some point in this second stage, his performance dropped, but he accelerated due to the individualities he has. He ends up winning it and really closes this match, I think, in a different way.
I'm going to ask the commentator what the result was when the Ivory Coast and Cameroon faces were seen, because I'm seeing that they both have 7 points, but the goal difference in this case only favors 1 goal in favor of Ivory Coast. I don't know if there's another goal. Sorry, yes.
Yes, that's right. It's staying with the first place. They equalize 1-1. That's why everything was shouted for.
Nothing is lost, huh? Everything changed. Ivory Coast was third, Marcelo third, and now there's a leader in Group F. Also, Ivory Coast is going to play with Burkina Faso, meaning they avoid South Africa. South Africa goes with Cameroon, and hygiene with Mozambique. Your attention changes. The fourth comes. I sing it. I hug that, Marcelo. Goal. Madness and dance, madness. And dance, madness and dance, the sports king. Goal of Ivory. Goal of Ivory, the fourth goal, but I think there is, don't take it away. Don't turn off the music, that is December 31st, Marcel.
Sí, me parece
it was the fourth, what happened?
Yes, it seems to me that there were early positions, but it seems to me that I think they have to review it. I think that the footballer who attended started from the field.
Jugada para revisar. Oh, player review, because a goal like this directly sentences everything. The keys run out. Everything is set up. It's true that Ivory Coast is leading, but this goal already put the bow. The dessert, the total celebration. Ivory Coast is coming first, and it found a fourth goal. 2 players arrived alone to define in front of the goalkeeper, Diego Marsartan, receiving instructions from the bar. He's talking there with Diallo number 15. The truth is that there's a party in the stands. You can't believe it much. Gabon can't understand what's happened, because they were winning 2-0, they're losing 3-2, and now there's a major failure in the bar. What will happen? Total goal and madness for the celebration to come or not of one of the players there from Costa de Marfil, Monday, with number 26, who finished with no one in goal. Then he was saying, we'll go back, because after this, the match will have to end. Ivory Coast first in Group F, Marcelo.
And that's right. And for news, it should be clarified that the match between Cameroon ended, and Mozambique was a victory for the Lions, but it will not be enough for them to be leaders, because we are here in Rey Deportivo at the end where a controversy was installed. In my opinion, it seems to me that it was in a lawful position because it started from its own field.
As Mr. Omar Sartan says, they took an early position offside. They prevent the celebration, the dance, the madness on the end of the year day from the team that for now holds up. They have to support Gabon for honor first. Watch out, because it could be a tie. Watch out for Ivory Coast. The game has never ended with permanent emotions at Rey Deportivo. Gabon now recovers it. Lofilu tries to dominate it. He comes with the players fight, number 15, Diallo. Diallo is back. He goes forward. Foul. He's missing for rest. For him to have the ball now with number 24, he's going to win. Ladies and gentlemen, sirs and gentlemen, community of football, entire planet has won. Costa de Marfil. Never pretend to be an elephant, because in this African jungle, Ivory Coast was asleep, but someone shook these sheets. This one, just from where the sleeping elephant was, woke up and left as primary scorer of Group F. Ivory Coast will be playing first against Burkina. Turned the game around, won it 3-2. Final commentary by Marcelo.
Well, it has really been an electrifying match, hasn't it? Where Gabon was able to score the first 2 goals. It was effective. Then it seems to me that he was staying as a team that wore him down. In those first minutes, we said it at the end, key goal from the Ivory Coast, which at some point in the second half put the result at risk, because Gabon had some chance to embitter the third goal, but the hierarchy of this team became valid at the end. And as we said, the goal that ends up converting the victory positions him as the leader of this group.
Querido comentarista, algo más para agregar. Dear comment, is there anything else to add?
Well, thank you to Andres Camargo, right, for the possibility that this year has given me to be part of Radio Deportivo. It's really a pleasure every time we have to broadcast. And people who are most important, to those who have stayed, we ask for the latest effort to give us that like that allows us to keep growing.
150 dispositivos, casi 60 devices, almost 60. Gratitude to a big hug, Mr. Andres Camargo, community of Red Deportivo. A giant love being part of this channel where we entertain ourselves, where we learn, where we have human and professional quality to bring the entire planet the magic of football. Thank you all for having a great and giant year. Blessings to all.